Yo people, how's it going? It's your boy Richard Morse back at it again with another match preview, ladies and gentlemen. And this time it's Wolves versus Bournemouth away at Molineux. And boy, going off our last two results, losing 2 games in a row back to back, it's not looking good for us, lads. Wolves have won their last 2 games against Fulham and Southampton. And despite the fact they've lost like Kilman and not been as defensively solid as Wolves have been before, they're starting to turn things around and it's not looking good for us. It's one of those where our form's starting to dip and another team's form's coming up. And unfortunately, we just lost Semenyo in the last game, so he's not going to be available. He's been our best player this season so far, so without him, yeah, it's not looking promising, boys. We're going to get fed to the Wolves, unfortunately. I can't see us getting a win right now because without Semenyo, Evan Nilsson is very sort of hit and miss. Sinistera is very interchangeable. He doesn't always start. Clivert doesn't always get a goal either. Semenyo is almost like the most guaranteed person to score out of our team. So without him in the team, I'm not really sure where we're going to get the goals from, really. A lot of the goals that Evan Nilsson has scored have been either tap-ins or maybe one good goal here and there. And same with the others, really. It's been sort of, they'll score a goal out of nowhere, but then they'll go missing for the next 2 or 3 games. So without Semenyo, I'm not really confident going into this game, lads. And in fact, it could be 3 L's in a row, 3 losses in a row, after we've had a great run against Arsenal, a draw against Villa, a win against City, and now we're losing, possibly on the verge of losing 3 games in a row. It's not looking good. I do feel like in January we need to make some changes and assess where we are, because I don't know whether some of our players are carrying an injury or maybe the squad depth isn't deep enough. We might have to get some more players in, maybe move some players on that have been there that just aren't being used. Like, I know David Brooks came on and scored against Brighton, but he hasn't really been a part of the team. Same with like players like Billing. Like, is he still even there? Like, I've not seen that guy since, I think, the League Cup game against West Ham where we got knocked out. I think generally that's the last time I've seen him play. He may have come on once or twice after that, but didn't really make much of a difference. So yeah, there's definitely a few players maybe in January we might have to think about maybe giving them the old, have a luck in your future endeavours. And like try and bring some more blood in, new young blood into the team, because we are getting that sort of aging team of where like a lot of our young players are playing throughout their skin, but they keep getting injured, and then we keep having to rely on all these older players. But the older players are just past it, and yeah, that's why our performance has gone from really high to starting to drift down again. And I know where are we now in the league? 13th? What was it now? Oh, let me check. Yeah, we're currently 13th in the league. Wolves are 17th, but you know, with the form they've got, they're going to shoot up the tables, and if we're not careful, we're going to shoot down the table again. And I've said this before: if we keep going on this sort of losing streak as we're going on right now, we could go from being, what were we, like 8th, 9th at one point to possibly around 14th, 15th. And I don't know about you lads, that's a little bit too close to the relegation zone for my liking. I don't want to see that. I don't want this to be another, I think like the season, maybe a season or 2 ago, where we started really well, then we sort of hit that downward period, and then we shoot up again. And I don't really want to see that. I want to see a bit more consistency throughout the league. Not this, start off good, go bad, and then the final bit we realise, oh shit, we're in trouble, we could go down. That's when we shoot ourselves up again. I don't want to see that. We should be trying to stay consistent throughout the league. I know with the Premier League, it's hard to do that depending on what fixtures you got coming up, what teams you got to face. Like, I get that, but we can't keep going through this sort of cycle of starting off good, goes bad, and then comes back up again just in time to save us from getting relegated. Like, we need to get sort of past this sort of just scraping relegation sort of mentality that we usually seem to have the last couple of seasons. Like, we need to start thinking about trying to establish ourselves as at least a mid-table team. Like, I know we're Bournemouth, and against some of these other teams, it's always going to be a struggle to get wins against City, Arsenal, Liverpool, the Big Six, and even ones just below the Big Six. Like, it's always going to be a struggle for us because we don't have the team, we don't have the quality, we don't have the funds that some of these other teams have. But we just got to keep trying, and we are slowly getting into that sort of Premier League sort of feel of the club. I feel like because we're starting, we're building a new stadium, the training grounds coming, the players that we've been signing the last couple of seasons, we're definitely starting to look more like a proper Premier League team, and not like one of these classic sort of yo-yo teams that are one season in the Championship in the Prem, then back to the Championship again. Like, we're not one of these yo-yo teams that always go up, down, up, down, up, down every season. Ever since we come up to the Premier League, we always managed to stay in for at least, our first stint was 5 years. We're in our third year of our second run now. We're not one of these teams that go up 1 year, down the next. So that's always a good thing for us. But we need to start building our mentality of, no, we're here to stay. We shouldn't be in danger of going down, which I know is quite bad to say, really, when it's only been 12 games in the season. It's still a long season to go, but I feel like January is going to be a very pivotal point for us. We need to either, like I say, get rid of some old players, bring some new blood in, revamp the squad a little bit, build on the depth that we have, try and get as many players back from injury as soon as we can, especially other players as well, and just sort of see where we are by January. I think January is going to be very telling of how our season's going to go. If we don't start picking up points by January latest, we're going to be in trouble, I think. So, yeah. Going into this game, I mean, Kuno's just absolutely scoring goals for fun. I'm so tempted to put him in my fantasy team just for if we lose, at least I get something out of it. You know what I mean? But, yeah, the way things are going, I think Wolves will win this game. I think it's going to be a 2-0 win to Wolves, to be really honest, lads, the way we're playing. I just think, since the Man City game, we just haven't been quite the same. Something's not quite right defensively. So I feel like, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to come away with a win this one. We maybe, if we're lucky, maybe we could scrape a draw, but it's not looking promising, lads, to be honest. So I'm going to go with a 2-0 win to Wolves, to be brutally honest. I'm not going to BS everybody saying, oh yeah, we're going to start them up 3-0. Come on. We've lost 2 games in a row. They've won 2 games in a row. The momentum's with them, so I'm going to play it safe and say, look, it's probably going to be a 2-0 win to Wolves. If it ends up being the result, I wouldn't be too surprised, to be brutally honest. So, yeah, like I said, I think we just need to get through these next few run of games, get to January, see where we are, and just sort of go from there, really. There's nothing more I can really say. So, yeah, that's my match preview, boys. Thank you all for watching this video. I've been your boy, Richard Morse. If you're new here, please leave a like, share, and subscribe down below. If you're a returning viewer, pleasure to see you again, and I'll catch you guys in the watch-along. See you then.